All right. What is up, my future financially free friends? It is your favorite 20-something financial guru, here to drop some truth bombs. So, many of you, like a ridiculous number of you, keep sliding into my DMs asking me, hey, how do you do it? How did you go from, like, literally scrounging for change to chilling on the Forbes list, practically without, being born rich or having some magical talent? And honestly, my answer sometimes feels like a broken record because it is so simple, but nobody ever believes me. I tell them the truth, the raw, unfiltered truth, and they like, nah, that can be it. They want some secret handshake, some hidden vault of wisdom, but the real secret, my friends, is that there are no secrets, just rules. Rules that once you learn them, once you actually apply them, will literally transform your financial life faster than you can say compound interest. So in this video, I am pulling back the curtain, I am spilling all the tea, I am sharing the 7 money rules that helped me go from being a broke 24-year-old who was like seriously considering selling one of my kidneys for rent to a freaking millionaire by 27. And now, well, let's just say I am not worried about my next meal or my next 100 meals. We re-talking over $100 million today, and it wasn't tea magic, it was math and psychology, so buckle up, buttercups, because we about to get rich, rule number 1. And this one, I swear, sounds like the most boring thing ever, but it is the foundation of everything. It is the 4% rule to get rich. To truly be free, you need to have a number, a magical number in your head, a number that if you saved enough, if you invested enough, you could live off the passive income generated from that stash. Forever. I know, snooze fest, right? Passive income sounds like something your grandpa talks about, but hear me out. True richness, the kind that actually matters, means freedom. And freedom, my dear friends, means you don't have to work. I am talking safe, simple, guaranteed income, no shenanigans, no crazy schemes, just a dollar amount that you can passively live off of. Once you hit that number, everything else is just gravy, pure, delicious gravy. The 4% rule is ridiculously simple. You take the amount you want to make per year. Let's say for argument's sake, you want to make $100,000 a year, and then you just divide that number by 0.04. That LL give you the total amount you need to save and invest, so you can effortlessly live off the passive income. It sounds absolutely bonkers, like, whoa, that is a lot of money, but it is not. Not really. Not if you start early, not if you understand the magic of compounding, because when your money makes money and that money makes more money, it snowballs faster than a kid rolling a giant ball down a hill. You can get to that place. Trust me, I've seen it, I've done it. So now you've got your magic number. You know how much you need to save, but how in the actual heck do you make that kind of money in the first place? That brings us to rule number 2, master a high income skill. Look, if you already knew how to make, say, $200,000 a year, you'd probably already be making $200,000 a year, right? So it means you are going to have to invest in yourself. Seriously, invest in yourself to develop a skill that the world actually values. That is why it is called a high income skill, because people will literally throw money at you for your time, for your expertise to do that work. And the best part, the absolutely mind-blowing best part, is that everyone has access to the same tools. The information is out there. It is not hidden behind some secret wall. It is just that most people pretend they can solve this problem. They rather complain. You don't need to spend $200,000 on some fancy university to learn any of this stuff. You can do it on your own. I did it on my own. So here is how you simplify it. All high income skills, in my humble opinion, fall into one of 4 glorious categories. The first M is make, as in you are a creator, a builder, you edit videos. You create websites, you write video scripts, you create things that other people value, things that solve problems. It sounds so simple, right? But most people never learn how to make a complete solution. They make a piece of a solution, but not the whole damn thing. The second M is market. This is where the magic happens. People, if you know how to get someone's attention and then redirect that focus towards buying something, anything. People will pay you ludicrous amounts of money to do that for their business, to get them customers. It is even more important than the next one, which everyone talks about, which is monetize or sales. Like the ability to talk to someone and get them to part with their hard-earned cash. That is incredibly valuable. But if you ask me which one is more valuable, marketing or sales, marketing wins, hands down. Sales is just easier to learn. That is the truth. And the final one is manage. People will literally pay top dollar to have someone come in and manage a project, manage an outcome, manage a thorny problem for them. So, the way I see it, it is these 4 components. You can even look up the Japanese concept of ikigai. What do you love? What are you good at? What does the world need? And what can you get paid for? If one of those 4 just clicks for you, maybe it is marketing or making or monetizing or managing stuff. The key, my friends, is mastery. Decide to be the best in the world at it. Seriously, aim for that and then stick with it for at least 1,000 days. I am talking go all in, full throttle, and find someone, anyone, to pay you to do that work. But here's the kicker, even a high-income skill 1T make you truly rich if you don't T-own anything, which conveniently brings us to rule number 3. Don't T work for your money, make your money work for you. Now this one is going to be a tough pill for a lot of people to swallow because the entire world, the whole damn system, is trying to convince you to do the opposite, to work for a salary, to trade your time for dollars. But the only way you are going to get really rich, the kind of rich that buys you freedom, is to own a piece of the business. To have ownership, wages, sure, they might feed you, they keep a roof over your head, but ownership, that, my friends, frees you. Think about it. If an accountant or a lawyer or a fancy doctor goes on vacation, guess what? It is not the cost of the vacation that is the most expensive thing for them. It is the fact that they not working, they not making money. The truth is, those people are highly paid, yes, but they not truly rich because they don't too have freedom. Their income is tied directly to their time. A business owner, on the other hand, creates a machine, an engine that makes money, and they get paid whether they show up to work or not, because the machine just keeps running. Owning a piece of that machine, that is how you get wealthy. That is the real game. But if you want to get there faster, like lightning fast, you need to understand what I am about to share with you. There are 3 phases to this. Phase 1, you have to build cash piles with your high-income skills. You literally need to learn how to save. To hoard cash like a squirrel before winter. The more you can save, the more resources you have to do something with. You can buy into a business. You can invest in your own business to increase your equity ownership. If you don't have any cash, it is simple math. Phase 2 is to reinvest in your best asset, and guess what? That is you. Because you, my friend, will take you with you to every single interaction for the rest of your life. And you becoming better, meaning you communicating better, you persuading others better, you getting other people to support you in your dreams. That investment in yourself will pay off dividends way bigger than any other business investment you could ever make. Period. Phase 3 is to invest those profits, that hard-earned cash, into assets. That is the ownership side of the equation for most people. The simplest thing to do, the no-brainer move, is to buy a low-fee index fund, like a Vanguard for the SP 500. Something simple, something that just tracks the market. My son Noah, who is a cool 12 years old, literally has 70% of his savings. Yes, savings. In an SP 500 index fund, the reason I taught him that, the reason I drilled it into his head, is because I showed him that the money works for him. Whether he shows up or not, he could sleep in until 10 a.m., play video games, whatever, and that money in that index fund was still out there doing its job, making him money. So, the best investment besides yourself is usually in your current business. That is where I would look first always. Then you can start looking at things where you have an unfair advantage, things that you know better than most people if you are super into cryptocurrency, and you are like a total nerd about it and you get paid to help people build blockchains. Then by all means, go all in on crypto, sticking to what you know. That is how you create compound interest and massive leverage. That is exactly how I built my company. I am all software all the time. For 28 years, I learned how to code, I built and exited software companies. I started investing in companies, and now I have a venture studio where I launch a new AI company every single month because I understood a long time ago that me sticking to things where I have an unfair advantage, where I can look at deals and assess them better than anyone else in the world, that is what is going to give me returns that are way above the market norm. So that is where I invest my free cash flow, always. And remember, the whole point of this, the entire reason we redoing this, is to invest into assets and ownership so you can get to that 4% rule. Then you don't have to work anymore. You are free, completely free. That is a beautiful thing where you can now choose what you want to do with your days. What does your life truly mean? What kind of work do you want to create? That, my friends, is the true meaning of being rich. If you don't own anything, you'll be stuck renting forever, always paying someone else. But even with your money invested, how do you multiply it even faster to actually get like stupid rich? Which brings us to rule number 4. We have to use leverage, not labor. Leverage means putting in a little bit of effort and getting a massive, massive result. Think about that old Greek mathematician, Archimedes. He had this quote, he said, "Give me a lever long enough and I can move the world." That, my friends, is leverage, pure and simple. This really hit home for me when I was 28. And I moved to San Francisco, man. I struggled. Seriously, I struggled. My company that finally made me a millionaire, it also cost me everything else in my life. My relationships, my health, my mental sanity, everything. And I almost decided to never start a business again until I met this guy named Naval Ravikant. And talking to him, he was the one who introduced me to these incredible ideas of leverage. Every entrepreneur, every successful person who masters these 4 areas, they have unlimited potential for creating in this world without creating massive pain and suffering in their own lives. If you master these 4 skills of leverage, then you can be as rich as you want to be. The first C is code. Think about software. Think about automation. Think about AI today. It is everywhere. If you can learn how to use technology, To get things done, to set up workflows, to automate processes, you have massive amounts of leverage. A little bit of work today, setting up that automation, means it gets done forever. You do the work once, and it keeps working for you. That is leverage. The second is content. When I look at a playbook, a checklist, that is a piece of content, but that content, that single piece of content, can create a recipe that can have someone else do something for you 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times. Without taking any more of your precious time, think about the videos I create here. I shoot this video once, and I can use it to share with all the young men I mentor in my King S Club program so they can learn how to get rich. I shoot this video once, and it can be seen by 10 million people. That is massive amounts of leverage. You create once, distribute endlessly. The third is capital, and capital is all about how you use your money to create more money. It is like a superpower. If you have money and you can run ads, you can hire people, you can invest that capital into opportunities that are going to generate returns, and you can have your capital work for you 24/7. You can get massive amounts of leverage from your money. And the fourth is collaboration. It is all about how you work with other people. People want to see good people win. It is true. People want to help people where they can make money with them, where everyone benefits. So learning how to partner, learning how to recruit, learning how to manage people, the emotional intelligence of other humans, that skill creates massive amounts of leverage. Think about all these luminary people like Gandhi and Oprah and The Rock. Even Ronaldo. If you are a soccer fan, those people, because they understand how to communicate, how to lead, they can get things done in the world that nobody else can. That is leverage. It is so cool because leverage is like a volume knob for your skills. If you want to get more done, then you just have to learn how to ramp up your skill and put the volume up. The more volume you go up, the less effort you have to put in. The bigger the outcome on the other side is going to be, it is exponential. And when it comes to hard work adds, it is linear. But leverage multiplies, it is exponential. That is why I call them multipliers. You can work as hard as you want. The guy who is changing a roof or digging a hole in the ground, he is working hard, but if he understands how to get leverage, he is going to get more done. Your effort stops looking like adding and you start multiplying your outcomes. And in fact, the biggest leverage for most people, and this is true for me, is hiring an executive assistant. Seriously, someone who can buy back 10, 15, 20 hours of your week, doing all those mundane tasks. The things that don't add value to your work, that don't add to your skill set, that don't teach you how to invest your money. Most people struggle with understanding what to give them, so if you want access to my internal EA playbook that I use, it is like 27 pages of all the best things. I've learned over 15 years of perfecting this. Just click the link in the description below. I'll send you a copy over for free, no catch. Seriously, but multiplication is useless if no one sees you. That is why we have to master rule number 5. We have to get distribution over creation. Having a great offer, something amazing to sell without an audience, is just like having a secret that nobody knows about. It is pointless. You have to build the distribution engine. You don't want to be the world. As big as kept secret, you want everybody to know about you, everybody to have the opportunity, to buy your high income skill. To benefit from what you offer, one of my portfolio companies at Martel Ventures is called Precision. They have one of the best products in the world. It helps businesses understand their numbers and gives them very tactical strategies using AI. Based on best practices and benchmarks to fix the business. It is genius, but without a distribution engine that we built together. No one would know that. They wouldn't have any customers. It would just sit there brilliant but invisible. So just because you have the best product, it still needs a way to get distribution. So here's how you can build your distribution plan today. Seriously, today first, we have to pick one channel, just one. Everyone gets held up because they trying to pick the right thing.